All right. So I know Joyce started the behavior of down with Ruby, but I don't really know where we landed. So I know how many reps she did because we track that, but that doesn't tell me a whole lot about how Ruby's responding. So when that happens, you have to just feel the dog out to kind of get an idea where they're at. And so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure, because we're super early in the process, I'm going to make sure Ruby knows that I've got food. And it's cheese. Oops, she got a freebie. And she really likes the cheese. She hasn't really been into her own food. So we're not using that because if there's something else that motivates her, I'm going to use that because, like I said, we're really early in the process. And so if I can get her motivated and enthusiastic to get the food, then I'll really truly know whether or not she's catching on, right? Because if she knows what I want, she's going to do it because I have something she really wants. And there's no real distractions around here. So we're not even using Ecollar right now, but I just have it here so when I'm ready, if I'm ready, I can use it. So I'm just going to give her the word here and see what she does. If she doesn't do anything, I'll add some body language. But I'm going to leave the food right there on the couch. She knows I've got it. It's just not in my hand, right? Down. She's not sure, so I'm going to add this. Down. Right, little finger pointing. Then I'm going to take the food and use a lure, because that didn't work. Good. Good. So she didn't go all the way down, but it was very close. Right? So I used a food lure, and that's fine. We're going to do that a few more times. So my goal then for this lesson is going to be... It's whining in there. No! I'm not sure which dog it is in there that's whining. But I might have to figure that out. Because that's pretty unpleasant when you're trying to record. My goal for this lesson then, based on what I just saw, is going to be to try to transition her from needing a food lure to just laying down on the command for a reward, right? So basically we're transitioning from a bribe, which shows her what to do, to a reward that she only gets if she does the behavior on her own. Let's go. Now that one rep might not even be accurate. Like that might not even really represent what she knows or doesn't know. It might just mean she didn't want to do it. And that might become obvious as we work, and I can always change my course if it does. But right now, I'm going to go with that and assume she's not really sure what the word means, but she can follow a food lure. So we're going to roll with that for now. So when I'm using a food lure, I do try to kind of get the dog's attention off from it before I even start the process and say the word. Down, then I'll present the food lure. Good! And elbows went all the way down to the floor that time. Break. Good. Down. Food lure. Good! She's going down so easily. Break. That I may even try to fake her out a little bit. Down. Then I'll use my hand. Oh, she's smart. She knows there's no food in there. Good! Then I'll grab the food lure. Which it wasn't a lure in that case, right? I mean, it was if you consider the fact that she thought there was food in my hand. Break! But sometimes that's a good middle step to being able to put the food down and use it as a reward, is to just use your hand without food. Down. And I could use a clicker for this. Break. But I'm not. Because we're going to transition to using low Ecollar as soon as humanly possible. And that's a lot to juggle. So, down. So I don't know if you could hear that little whine, but she's a little impatient and frustrated. Because she really wants that cheese. Down. Good. Good. So basically this process is me convincing her if she lays down when I say down, there will be food, right? Even if you don't see it in front of you, I am going to give you food once you do it, right? So she has to see that pattern. She's staying down, so I'm going to give her another one. Good. I'm going to break these up even smaller. Because you go through them pretty fast, and then you have a dog that's just chock full of cheese. Break. Good girl. Down. I think we have goats in our mudroom, so I'm going to go tend to that. Shh, hey, get out. I don't know if you've ever tried to contain goats before, but it's very difficult. Down. Good. The other thing we should do is get her accustomed to going down with a little pressure, which I know Joyce was doing that because I saw her doing some of that. Break. And we can kind of test that here and see how she does with it. I'm going to turn this upside down. Down. And then when she doesn't lay down, we'll do gentle pressure. Good. And that actually worked very well. So I think we'll stick with that. Break. And that's what I mean by we can always change our course of action. If we discover things or we see things while we're working with the dog, then we can change our method, our strategy to do what works best and to teach them the most and just create the most well-rounded dog that we can. But having a dog that can follow a food lure is great, but having a dog that can follow pressure is just as great, if not better, right? Especially since you won't always have food. Now, ultimately, she's going to listen to the word and not need any of that stuff, but this will facilitate the training process to be even faster. And this prong pressure that we're using when we pull gently down like that, it's very similar to the e-collar pressure. So that translates very well for most dogs. Down. Then you hear the whining because she doesn't want to have to do whatever it is we want her to do. Good. Then comes the reward. When she stays there, I'll give her another one. Good. Break. Guidance to come up out of the break, out of the down. Down. Pressure. Good. Break. Down. Pressure. This is usually easier if we get the butt down there first. Good. It's like doggy push-ups, huh? Yeah. Down. Good. And I just realized the angle of the camera here might not be ideal. Break, because you're mostly looking at the back of her head, so I'm going to move it. Come here, bud. Girl. Good. Down. Gentle pressure. Good. Break. Good girl. Down. Pressure. Nope. Good. She's a little uneasy about the cat. Break. Good. Good girl. Down. Pressure. Good. Break. Good girl. Down. Good. So, she's not going down with just the word yet. Break. But, let's go. She's going down super smoothly with just a little bit of pressure. So I'm going to go ahead and add in the low E-collar, as long as it doesn't get too messy. I'm going to put it on a 5. Down. Then I'm going to turn on the E-collar and guide her down. Good. Shut it off and reward. Break. Good girl. We're going to do that again. Down. Good. Break. Down. Good. Break. Down. Good. Break. Good. Down. Good. Break. Yes, good girl. Down. Good. So you could see me there trying some different stuff, right? Instead of just giving her all the help like I have been. I tried just waiting her out with this turned on. I tried tapping. Didn't work. I added a little body language. She went right down. And I didn't have to pull the leash that time. So that's the process of trying to move away from spoon feeding the dog everything. Break. Good. Yes, Oh, good job. Down. Good. So I was just about to add some body language, but I didn't need to. Good girl. Now we're cooking with gas. Break. Good. Down. Now I'm going to add the leash pressure. Good. So Ecollar still stayed on that whole time, but I added the leash pressure to get the behavior because she wasn't doing it on her own. Break. Good. Down. Someone in the other room distracted her. She was about to do it. We're just going to start that rep over. Hey. Down. And I'm going to add the leash. Good. Reward. Good girl. Yeah. Oh, it's a good girl. Yeah. Oh, she's so fun. Oh, is this so stubborn, huh? Yeah. Break. Down. I tried bumping the level up 1 or 2 just to see if it would make a difference. It really didn't, so I just gave her the help. Break. Come on. Good girl. Yeah, good girl. I'm going to put it back down. Down. Good. Break. So far, I think we've gotten her to do a total of 1 of these without any body language or leash pressure. So I don't even know if we've gotten that. Maybe that was just body language. I can't remember now. Down. Down. Lots of pacing and circling, but we want her to get the actual behavior. Good. I know, it's hard stuff, huh? He's so hard. Break. Good girl. Turn the camera over here, now she's facing this way. Move your butt over here. Move your butt over there. Down. So if you noticed that, it was the second I went to grab her leash. So she knows there'll be follow through at that point. So basically we're reverse engineering it. So we want to get to the point where she believes there'll be follow through from the second that I say it. And so that's right around the corner. Break. Come on. Yeah, good girl. Down. So did you see, I intentionally went very slow toward the leash that time so you could see the point at which she goes, oh, there's going to be pressure and I'm going to have to lay down. Break. Good. Down. Yeah, good girl. We're on our last piece of cheese. So she went down that time with just the word and e-collar. And we're going to end on that note. We'll do some more later. Yeah. Break.